Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
With Tech to the VO stars. George Whittam, founder of Source Elements. Robert Marshall, international audio engineer. Darren Robbo Robertson. And global voice, Andrew Peters. Thanks to TriBooth, Austrian Audio, making passion heard. Source Elements, George the Tech Whittam, and Robbo and AP's international demos. To find out more about us, check theproaudiosuite.com.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite. Thanks to Austrian Audio, making passion heard. And we'll be hearing more from Austrian Audio in the coming weeks with their new CC8 Super Cardioid, which George actually has right in front of him as we speak. And of course, TriBooth. Don't forget the code TRIPAP200. That will get you $200 off your TriBooth. But today we're not focusing on the Austrian Audio CC8 SC. We're talking about de-breathing. Should you? I've got a funny feeling I know where this is going to go, and one person in particular who will say, I don't like de-breathing.
Well, this subject was actually inspired. Just to set this up, this is more the conversation than sort of should you de-breath or not. This was actually inspired by, some people will know Toby Ricketts, who's a voiceover guy here in New Zealand and Australia, a really well-known one. And he actually put up a blog a week or two ago, and he called it Unseen Punctuation, How Breath Control Engages Eardrums. And what he sort of talked about was how you can use breaths as sort of like an emotional cue or a punctuator or something like that. And then if you automatically just go in and pull them out, then you're actually sort of kind of destroying some of a part of the read, you know what I mean? Or something that the voice actor might have intentionally put in as part of the read. So he was sort of saying, you know, rather than just a blanket, yes, I de-breath everything, should it be more of a controlled thing, you know, use it more as when it's needed and leave it alone when it's not, which is, to be honest, kind of my philosophy.
Well, yeah, it's interesting because I know what he's saying, and there are things, if you're telling a story or it's an audio book or something like that kind of form, sure, leave them in. If it's a 30-second commercial, get them out because you're going to have to anyway to make it fit in the 30. But I kind of get the emotional side of if you're doing, like narrating a film or a documentary or audio book or anything like that, a story, then yeah, sure.
And there's also just lowering the volume of breath sometimes, because a lot of the times you're just so close to the mic and it's out of scale, you know, out of perspective, and it does humanize it. And if it's a character, you can keep the breath in, but there's definitely times when you at least want to lower it. I mean, I'm sure whoever deals with Donald Trump's audio does a lot of this.
Lots of deep breathing.
Yeah, they should just stop him breathing. That would be a plus.
I mean, my example of this would be I actually had to do a commercial the other day, which was, you know, sort of like a person on the street. And you know, it was a radio commercial, but if it had have been a TV commercial, it was supposed to be this person standing on a street corner spruiking X product. And it occurred to me when I was thinking about sort of doing this topic for the show this week then, is like, if I had taken those breaths out, it would have sounded ridiculous. It would have sounded like this poor woman's not breathing for 30 seconds. So I don't think you can sort of do a blanket, well, I de-breath everything. You might take a breath or two out if you need to trim some time. You know, if you're looking for that, you know, second or two that, you know, well, probably not two, but second and a half that a couple of breaths can save, you know, that's always handy.
Imagine if your voice talent was a free diver.
Yeah,
It can just go forever.
Massive lung capacity.
But there is something for taking breaths out for time, which sometimes when you just collide all the words together and there's no space because you took the breaths out, you're actually better off putting that breath and that pause in there, because it gives time for people to understand and to, you know, it just makes it sound not as fast, compared to just a continuous barrage of words.
One thing about that though is if I de-breath and I take the breath out, I replace it with room noise.
Yeah, with the space, exactly.
So the space between the words are still there. Yeah,
You're preserving the timing. That's the distinction. Because when we talk about de-breathing, there's so many variations of a theme, which is just reducing the breath, silencing the breath, or deleting the breath, the space the breath was taking, which shortens the read. and changes the timing. So you just want to make sure that when you do it, it feels right.
It has to still feel right. Yes.
Right.
You can't I mean, I hear so many people who take our breaths and just slam, the end of sentence end of sentence A onto the beginning of sentence B. And you can't just do that. You need to, of course, it still needs to sound natural.
I did a session. This is really quite bizarre. And they didn't end up using my voice, which I thought was quite funny. And it also all made sense the next day. So we're doing a session and the client didn't know what they wanted or couldn't explain what they wanted. But they did send me a guide, what I thought was a guide read on this film, which was a female voice. And I thought the read was kind of okay. I didn't really sort of get too deep into it, but it sounded fine to me. And I was kind of curious as to why they were going to change the voice. But anyway, the client said, we're really happy with that female read. It's just that some of the words weren't correct the way she pronounced them. So my thought was, well, why don't you just call her back and drop in the correct pronunciation? It wasn't until the next day, and I was talking to my 17-year-old son and about this whole thing, and I played in the film, and he within 10 seconds, he went, "That's an AI."
Oh, really?
I'm like,
wow.
What? And it's like I listened again and went, shit, you're right. It is an AI. Hence the reason they couldn't get that person back to actually say the words correctly, because that's how the AI pronounced it.
There you go.
Well,
That's interesting.
A lot of people, when they
Yeah.
deal with AI and they're typing in the scripts, they have to misspell the words to get the AI to say it right.
You're right, phonetics.
Well, then the other thing about AI is like if you over sanitize the audio, then you are going to creep into AI territory. And then the irony is the AIs are adding in all these breaths and pauses and little emotive snickers and things to sound more human, except it repeats them over and over and uses the same exact sing-songy delivery. The ChatGPT does that all the time. He goes, yeah, well, and then it does the same like rhythmic up and down over and over. So it's like, don't sound like an AI.
Well, here's another one that was thrown to me the other day. Ray Kinkton, who we've talked about on the show before, he sent me a message saying some revisions just don't make any sense. Now, if you know Ray, he's got sort of similar to AP. He's got a really nice, deep, resonant voice, right? And he got these revision back, and it says the voice is a little too deep. Please revise so there is less bass in the voice. Also, please make the voice actor sound 5 to 10 years older.
What? That's actually a contradiction, because normally if you want to sound older, you put more bass in,
You put a bit more. I know, exactly. But it's like,
right.
as
Or
Ray
slow
said,
it
it's sort
down
of
a
like,
little bit.
I think you should be maybe booking someone else. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of
exactly.
like far out. It's just crazy, isn't it? Yeah, look, I mean, as for the deep breath thing, I kind of, I come across people from time to time who seem to have a blanket rule on, yes, I take every breath out. And for me, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Blanket rules.
I tend to, I must admit, if it's a 30-second ad I'm doing or, a promo or something, I
You
take
have
them
to
out.
have feel. I think it's like music.
Yeah.
If you don't have a feel for music and the rhythm of music and feel, if you don't have feel, you have no business editing, because you're just going to make it feel weird, feel awkward, and just it'll lose its feel. You have to have a good feel for timing and natural pace, and you need to know what it's supposed to sound like.
This is funny. A mate of mine dropped over last night. He's actually in the process of doing post on a feature documentary, and he just had to get away from the computer because he was going sideways. But we're talking about ads and then government stuff where they do it in various languages. And so he'll get another language, like he might have 10 other languages that he has to do the edit for. But he's like, this one's running 5 seconds over. And they're going, oh, well, can't you edit it? Because it's in Arabic. How would I know what to edit? I have no idea.
I remember
It's quite
mixing
funny.
live concerts when I was in college that were performers from India. We had a large Indian population at Virginia Tech. And, they would have someone from the tour manager or somebody would be sitting over my shoulder occasionally and saying, adjust, because I'm just listening to a sound, and I'm balancing a sound, but I'm not conceiving the words. I don't know what the heck they're saying. So when you don't know what's being said, it's even harder to get a good mix, because then you're not listening for intelligibility as much. At least that's that was my experience. Now, again, that was music, a little bit different, but you need to understand what's being said. I think it's pretty important.
Can I understand what's being said? Pretty basic premise of mixing, really, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I was going to use an example of The Police. And what's the song? I'm trying to think, where he sits on the piano and then laughs in the intro.
Yeah, he backed into it.
Yeah, Sting backs into it.
It's Roxanne.
Roxanne, that's right.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, he sits on the piano and you just hear, and he,
And he goes,
Yeah.
yeah.
and it's like, normally you go, oh, get rid of that. And they've gone, actually, that's really cool. Leave it in.
Is there ever going to be mistakes in live, mistakes in finished albums anymore?
Probably not.
Misplaced bass lines?
No.
Oh, having said that, I've just been, Somerset's been introduced me to one of her new favourite bands called The Last Dinner Party. And they're an English all-girl band. They're really good, like really out there. They're very organic. In fact, when I first heard it was like, obviously their grandparents have been playing the music because it's very 70s. And to the point where they did a tour and Somerset went with a friend to see the concert. And they did a cover of Sparks' This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. And of course, Somerset's the only person in the audience who's gone, oh my God, it's one of my dad's favourite songs. But no one else knew what the hell it was because it's like that song's over 50 years old.
Speaking of music, has anybody seen the YouTube video that's doing the rounds at the moment? There's a channel where they get famous drummers in and they give them a track that they've never heard before, but they take the drums out and they get them to drum to it.
And then they do something different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody seen the one that Chad Smith did recently? And they got him to do that 30 Seconds to Mars track, and the name of the song eludes me, but it's a really sort of heavy sort of rock track. And so Chad does this really amazing full on, like it's really busy drum track, like typical Chad. He's just everywhere all over the kit. But the reason I'm saying this is talking about happy accidents. He breaks a stick. He doesn't miss a beat. Like he's got one hand literally going all over the kit for about 3 or 4 seconds while he reaches down and grabs a new stick and gets going again. Just amazing. And you would never pick it. If you couldn't see it, you would never know what had happened. Amazing.
They should have just got the drummer from Judas Priest, and he only needs one stick.
Not Judas Priest, Def Leppard.
Def Leppard, that's right. Yeah.
Def Leppard.
If you want a bit of a laugh, have a look up. They gave him a Dua Lipa? Or I think it was Dua Lipa. They gave him a Dua Lipa song a couple of months ago, and it's just hilarious. Like he just goes completely off ball. Like he's putting like a rock rhythm to this pop song, and it's like completely crazy, but it still works. You still look at it and you go, "Oh my God, that still works."
That's so cool.
It's like Stuart Copeland. He admits that he can't remember what the hell he played. Because it was all impromptu. Everything he did was like, and it's like, I don't know what I just did. I can't do it again because I have no clue what I just did.
I know. Yeah, he said that's why I'm not a studio musician.
Yeah.
I can't play the same take twice.
Yeah.
When he was interviewed by Rick Beato, that was a funny interview. Yeah. That was a great interview.
Yeah.
He talked about Stingo. What do they call him?
Stingo. Yeah.
Stingo.
Yeah, Stingo. It's really funny.
Oh man.
I wonder if they de-breathed. Probably.
Only on every breath you take. Actually.
There you go.
It's every breath you take out.
Every breath you edit out inappropriately.
I can't breathe.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to TriBooth and Austrian Audio. Recorded using Source Connect. Edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Robbo. Got your own audio issues? Just ask Robbo.com. With tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, proaudiosuite.com.